So yes, well, you're doing Syria humanitarian today. Mm-hmm. How are the negotiations going with regard to what the Russians might do?
Well, we're starting consultations this morning, as you know, in the chamber. Life and death issues we're dealing with here. We want to see, as pen holders, renewal of the resolution, and we put on the table an expansion. We've made the evidence-based arguments for months together. We'll again go through that very carefully today. We've talked to every single member of the Council, individually and collectively, and we're making good headway, I think, and we're hoping to see a successful renewal later this week.
Can you remind us what's at stake if you don't get that one crossing?
It's a lot at stake. It's really a life and death issues for so many. We are talking about millions in Syria. So it is incredibly important that we will get the maximum of assistance into to Syria, and that the resolution will be renewed and expand, and also hope for another 12 months. Because as we know also, the COVID situation has added to the situation in Syria, so it is even worse now than last year.
Did you get positive signal from Russia?
We will not go into the negotiations that are getting pretty, or will get even more intense in the coming days, because we have a deadline. So we will try to make sure that we will have a resolution in place within that timeline.
I think we've been very clear where we start out from, and where the need that Mona described is. We can't envisage what would be the case, a catastrophe, humanitarian catastrophe. We're now in summer. We go through a difficult winter. We need a 12-month renewal for the millions of people who depend. There are 1,000 trucks a month, just Bab al-Hawa alone. So I think all those arguments have been clearly heard, and I think there's a very strong degree of recognition for the humanitarian case we're making. We understand it's politically sensitive. We're making a purely humanitarian case.
What makes you hopeful at this point that there might be a breakthrough?
Well,
because what is at stake?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to believe that we will not be able to continue this massive aid operation, which is probably one of the biggest in the world right now, and the most scrutinized and the most organized of all operations.
If I could just say, it's not really a breakthrough. What we're asking for is a renewal of an existing, well-functioning mechanism on which millions of people depend, with a recognition of the COVID situation and the ongoing deteriorating humanitarian situation. So we're building on what was, as you know, a 4-crossing operation a couple of years ago, and now this is much reduced and is absolutely, in our view, at a minimum at this stage.
Can I ask you on one other issue? Afghanistan, Taliban gains, particularly in the north of Afghanistan, are growing, and some of the reports are that the Taliban in those areas they've taken hold of are dealing with women just as they dealt with women when the Taliban last ran Afghanistan. Your reaction?
We are following the situation and the developments in Afghanistan with great concern, and we will certainly continue to do so. Also, when it comes to the renewal of the UNAMA mandate and what will become of the continued UN presence in Afghanistan. So this is an issue we're following very closely.
If I can just say, it's a deeply, deeply worrying situation, and certainly there can be no price paid by the women of Afghanistan that can ever be justified. So we are watching this extremely carefully. You pointed to the huge risks for women. We're working here particularly conscious of the fundamental human rights of all Afghans, and particularly women. Thanks.
Thanks everyone. Cheers.